Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so remember how I was saying I was having some problems with the plane? Well, yeah. So the plane exploded right after the video, and yeah, just not good things. Just put it that way. Just overall not good things at all. Basically, it exploded because I ended up quick yeah, no, I didn't quick save once I got into orbit. So you'll see now, I'll just show you right now. The orbit is a little bit different. I mean, the fuel obviously has changed a little bit. I don't know. I mean, probably not very much because you guys saw my burns. You know, I really didn't have to do very much as far as making sure that everything was lined up and getting into orbit, you know, so, but maybe my altitude has changed a little bit. I mean, obviously on this side it's changing right now as we speak, and I also went ahead and deployed all the solar panels again because that just took like forever. So anyways, I have been trying you know, a bunch of different things, and I basically have been trying to figure out how I'm going to get to Vall, because I've been having a few issues getting there, and that mostly has to do with basically Laythe being very nice and putting me on exit trajectories out of the system on a constant basis, or just saying, hey, I exist, so I'm gonna push you out of your orbit that you're in and put you in a new orbit. So it's been kind of a constant battle, and I think I kind of got it down to where I know where I should be, and 1.6 I think is good. I really am a little bit still unsure. I did test out a few things. I might have some bad news for you guys later, but that's not like a lot later. That's not like this episode. That's gonna be a lot later. Let's see here. Alright, things are looking good. We just need to get into... just kind of fix up our inclination a little bit, fix up a few things. You see our inclination burn has changed, you know, a little bit, but it's not that bad. You know, I think whatever it was like 0.6 when I left off with you guys, and it was 0.1, so it's kind of almost doubled the amount of fuel I need. So it's not like I'm saving any fuel because of what happened. I kind of I kind of have to bite the bullet and just deal with it, which kinda sucks, but whatever. Why is this all the way over here? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'm like, why is this over here? There's no node there. Or, I mean, not node, but you know what I mean. Let's bring this up. Come on. Go. Am I doing it the wrong way? Again? Yeah, I am. I'm an idiot. There we go. Perfect. So, let's just speed this up a little bit. One of the burns I will be speeding up in this episode is when we actually do reach Vall, because that burn does take a little bit of time. I think it's like around a 6-7 minute burn, and yeah, it's pretty intense. That's all I can say. But I am not going to be reaching like some kind of super perfect orbit with Vall. That's the one thing I will mention right now as it is, because I'm sure there's a few of you out there that are wondering how it is I plan on really pulling a lot of this stuff off, as far as visiting all the planets, and, well, I shouldn't say all the planets. Visiting what I have planned, along with, you know, all the other stuff that I kind of want to do while I'm here, and the one thing I am going to be trying to do is returning them back home. I am a little on the fence with it right now. Fuel is looking okay, but that's always kind of like, that's like an okay, I guess. You know, it's kind of, I'm kind of on the fence about the whole situation right now, and you know, I'm pretty much hoping that everything just kind of falls into place as the time goes on, but I'm trying to debate on what planet I will be what moon I will be visiting first. I really I have some idea on where I want to go, but at the same time there's certain limitation that I want to stick to, and certain things I want to get rid of quickly, namely the airplane that is on the back of the ship. I really just kind of want to get rid of it. So we might be getting into a Vall orbit and then dumping the plane as soon as possible. Just I want to get rid of it more so because of the fact that it is causing a lot of problems in my game right now, along with, let's see, where are we going to be at when we get to Vall? Where's Vall at? Ooh, there is, yeah, there's that beautiful Laythe encounter. Yeah, that doesn't look too good. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to wait in orbit. So, but no, the plane is the part that I really just kind of want to get rid of. It's weird because when I load in my game, like, say I just load in from a quick save, the plane itself is just like explodes into a million pieces. So I'm gonna be checking almost every one of these orbits. I know that the next one I don't think is going to be the one I get the encounter with. It could be. Just wait a minute here. Let's see what we get. I don't want to burn too much fuel, but at the same time I do want to get there as soon as possible. Yeah, that still is looking pretty bad, so I think we're gonna have to wait a couple more orbits. So it's definitely not going to be the next orbit. One of them, I think I end up getting an encounter with Laythe, and I think that is the one I have to do the burn on in order to basically save it. Otherwise, we will be visiting Laythe and then getting shot out of the system, or some kind of craziness usually. It's always... Testing this out was one of these kind of things where it's just been trial and error to figure out what I need to get done. Okay. Yeah, that was just too much. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's not working the way I want it to. Let's try another set of orbits here. I'm sorry guys if you guys are like waiting around and you're like, come on, hurry up, just get there already. So I mean, I really should speed some of this up, but it's weird because it looked like it just stopped right there for a second. So I don't even recall how many orbits I actually did before I actually ended up getting my my encounter. Ooh. Now that is what I was looking for. That is a beautiful thing. A very, very beautiful thing. Let's see. Bring this down. See, patience is a virtue. Oh my god. That is still, I mean, that is actually really, really good, but I don't want to be coming down like right on top of the thing. If I can pull off something, I mean, that is really bad because I'll be getting shot out basically. And I don't really want to. It's gonna eventually. I don't know. That isn't looking good though. I can say that. Let's see. That's so low that I really don't want to touch it, but at the same time, that seems like the most logical way to do things. We're gonna have to burn off like tons and tons of Delta V though. But either way, we're gonna... The burn to get there is really easy, but the burn to actually obtain an orbit is actually pretty intense. So we'll see what we can get. You know, I'm not too happy about burning away a lot of fuel, but at the same time, you gotta do it in order to get there, so that's the nature of the beast. So let's see. Alright, everything's looking pretty good. Come on. We don't even have that much of a burn either. It's like nothing here, so let's see. Let's just do this one real quick and we'll see what our encounter gives us. I know I did the burn. Ooh, my god, the ship is moving. Stop moving. That is not what I want you to do. Stop that. That is totally not what I asked you to do. RCS to the rescue, please. Oh my god, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons right now. Just stop it right now. Come on. Come on, come on. Just give me what I want. So, there we go. RCS to the rescue. For as much as I've been complaining about RCS fuel this last episode and all that other good stuff. So yeah, the one thing I should mention too, Voyager. Voyager, where is it? Yeah. Yeah, not interplanetary in any way. Although I will say I did check its orbit and it will reach the apoapsis in like 60, or it's like 70 years, 70 Kerbal years. So it's pretty much gone. You'll never see it again in any more of my episodes probably. So I was considering like maybe if I'm still. Ooh, excuse me. If I'm still playing the exact same save from, you know, that time on, I was considering doing something like maybe visiting it after it's out that far, after 63 years. I thought that would be kind of cool, but I really don't know, you know, where it will end up and everything. I'd rather not even bother, so. Let's see. Alright, our first encounter on this mission with Vall. Well, and first encounter with a moon. So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. So slow. Alright, come on. There we go. Now this actually doesn't look that bad, to be honest. I think this might be better than an encounter I've had before. You know what? It is actually a little bit better. I'm not gonna say by much, but basically, you know, I've been testing a lot of this. This hasn't been genuine 100% like just going with the flow gameplay. Like, I have been testing a lot of this stuff out before I do it because I really want to make sure that everything kind of falls into place, and I really want everything to work out 100%. So that's the one thing I will mention right now. I'm not saying that this isn't genuine gameplay, because a lot of this stuff I still haven't gotten correct, especially the Laythe. The Laythe aircraft I have not been able to get to Laythe yet. I've been trying, but it's been somewhat of a complicated process of just getting it there, so. But this isn't looking too bad, you know, I'm okay with this. You know, let's see, bring this down. This becomes one of those times where the time warp feature really starts to drive you insane, because you're really scared you're gonna end up just pushing down all the way and going full time warp on it and just destroying everything. So get this down to 2. I'll start it like right here. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. You know what it is, I think, when I do the time warps, I think the SAS is still locked onto a certain position, so then as soon as I come out of the time warp, it's like, okay, I need to be over here, and then it just starts pulling that way, and then it waits for my input, and then the minute I start giving it input to not do that is when it starts picking it up. And we're upside down right now, I guess, if you want to call that upside down. So I'm just gonna speed all this stuff up real quick. I don't think it should take too long. I'm gonna do a few fuel transfers and all that other good stuff just to get everything squared away. Once get everything squared away, so then we can have a little bit of fun. So I will see you once we're done with this burn. And we reached orbit, guys. Amazing stuff. So, I'm going to explain a few things. One of them being, I am not going to actually circularize my orbit. I'm having problems even pronouncing that right now. I'm not going to do that for a few reasons. Number one, just too much fuel needed in order to bring it down that far, and I really don't want to... You know, if you guys look, I don't even want to spend that much fuel. And it really doesn't make any sense to do so, only because we don't plan on staying here for that long. If it were like a space station or something like that, I might consider doing it, but it's, you know, we only plan on being here for a little bit. Now, I did test a few things out, and everything's working. I ended up transferring out a lot of fuel and moving things around, and I basically had to refuel almost everything because, you know, through the trip I didn't disable any of the cross feeds and stuff like that, so a lot of our stuff, I basically ended up consuming a lot of the fuel in it, and I didn't really mean to, but, you know, things happen. That's all I'm going to say. And honestly, like, this thing is just going to be taking RCS, so I don't really care so much about the fact that I might be losing a little bit of RCS fuel. I'm not going to sweat it in any kind of way. You know, 40 units of RCS fuel definitely isn't that big of a deal. So I'm just going to point this thing straight up, and man, this is looking amazing. We got Laythe right here, and this big old rock right here. I kind of forget the name of it. I think it's called Vall. Yeah. Is that? Yeah, you guys are loving this, aren't you? I'm just blown away that this thing's actually working. Now, Tylo is one of them I'm considering going to after, you know, all our fun that we have and everything else. But you know, I'm just, I'm going with the flow right now as far as the fuel and, you know, everything else. You know, I've been complaining and talking about fuel since I've started doing this, so it's kind of like you guys are probably getting a little bit annoyed with me talking about fuel consumption constantly, but it's kind of one of these things that are, you know, just on my mind constantly, because I don't want to end up losing this flight in any kind of way, or this ship in general, so it really wouldn't be a good thing. So I have really been trying to do the most efficient burns, and, you know, trying to do the most efficient things as possible in order to, even if I'm saving just, you know, a few hundred delta V on fuel, that makes a difference later on. So every little bit helps. What am I doing? We need to go up. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So just kind of center this stuff out. I'll speed it up just a little bit here, and we're gonna head to... yeah, come on, go up. We're gonna be heading to Laythe first. And now, you know, I mentioned this before, the aircraft itself isn't... the Kraken are attacking it at every chance they get. So I just kind of want to get rid of it and land it, and before there's any other issues. I hate having to roll back, and so far on this mission I've had to roll back a couple times because of certain things happening that are unforeseeable, kind of things that just you're incredibly upset about, kind of things that just completely destroy missions. So one of the first things I'm going to do is disable the crossfeed. I gotta activate this engine. And there was something else that I was going to do. I can't remember. Um, I'm. Oh yeah, there we go. I have to do the control from here because if I left it at what it was at, it would just basically screw everything up. So Laythe is our target right now, and the main problem with getting to Laythe, at least for right now, is the fact that if I do something like this is basically the method that I have planned for getting there. And when you do something like this, you know, and you set something up like that there, and you really are, you're basically just using the gravity as an assist to get you there. But the thing is that you're basically left at whatever, you know, you're basically trying to match up the velocities. It's like docking almost, you know, everything needs to just kind of fall together in the right place, and if it doesn't do that, you end up on stuff like this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to be waiting and doing a couple orbits around, and you know, just waiting until I get that absolute perfect moment to where I can just you know, I can launch the craft. So it is a little unstable, I should mention that too. The center of gravity on the craft is kind of more in this area, so maybe I would say it's more of like right here, so it has a tendency to pull. So I should mention that before I even start my burn and all that other good stuff. But we're going to be waiting a while, so I'm going to speed most of this up, and I'll see you once we start our burn there, because I'm going to explain a few more things for those of you who might be kind of trying to replicate this mission, or at least kind of have the same ideas planned as far as what you want to do and how you want to set up your missions and stuff like that. So I'll see you once we're all lined up. Alright guys, it looks like everything is set up. I'm sorry if that was a little painful to watch, but doing this, it really is touchy, as you guys can see. I mean, everything has to be absolutely on the spot, otherwise there are problems. So see, we don't have a very big burn, but the problem is that just setting this up and getting everything exactly the way you want it, and you have to be basically dead on the spot 100% sure that that's the exact way you want to come in. So one thing I want you guys to reference right here, and just notice where it says it's going to be about 29,026 meters off of the surface, and that's what we have set up right now. So that is looking pretty amazing if everything goes correctly. But I've tested this out before, and I ended up recording this whole episode basically, and I ended up trying to take a screenshot, and I pushed the wrong button, and basically almost all of the video got deleted. So this is why I'm just stating some of this stuff right now, because I already kind of know. So it's just been a little bit of an annoying process, but you know, what can you do? There's only so much you can do. So I think I'm going to start my burn at around 40 seconds or so. I'm just guessing right now, but yeah, let's just start the bird up. Now, I did activate the engines. I don't hear them, though. Okay, everything's good. I'm just... You know, that was one of the things I always would forget, is to activate the engines, and then you get down to a burn, and then you're like, oh, why isn't it moving? Why isn't nothing happening? Is my rocket broken? There was a few different times that's actually happened to me, too, so... you know, luckily, I am finding out about some of these bugs before I end up actually recording and making myself, you know, I make myself look a little bit smarter than I actually am. But, you know, it's always those little things that you always forget about, and then once you end up setting up everything and, you know, going through all the process of doing whatever it is you plan on doing is when all the little bad things that you overlooked start rearing their ugly head. So, let's see. We got 10 meters a second. That's really nothing, but I hate firing this engine because it just has a tendency to pull, so I really just want... I'll just use the most minimal thrust where it doesn't move very much. No, we just gotta get this up to like 30 or so. I don't really know if that's going to be very soon or not. I ended up closing the thing, but I close it just so I can clear out some of the clutter in the orbit so you can actually see everything. Because most of the time when this stuff... Whoa, that was crazy. I just got some kind of like ultra silly frame rate problems. I think we ended up loading in the Jool Explorer there for a second, and then it just unloaded again, so... Or otherwise, I don't know. Whatever. We're on our way to Laythe. That's all that matters. So, once again, take reference as to how far away... Oh, that's changed a little bit already. I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's not actually... I'm not going to say that I don't know if it's a good thing. That's actually a pretty good thing. Now, see how it's changed again. I've been having this problem, and I guess it's just, you know, I guess it didn't rear its ugly head like, you know, normally how I say, but what ended up happening is before on my other test flights and stuff like that, when I would do this, I would set it to like 30 or 40 or something like that, and it would end up being at, let's see, what is that at? 132? I'll bring that out just a little bit further. That's all we really need. I don't want to use too much fuel. Once again, I'm bringing up that whole fuel thing, so. But what ended up happening is I ended up setting it up, and it would be at like about 32. So I was like, okay, that sounds like a plan. You know, 32 is close enough to where you're going to be hitting the atmosphere and all that other good stuff. I ended up kind of finding out a few things about Laythe that... See, I kind of thought it was like Kerbin, and, you know, you could get, you know, an orbit around Kerbin, you know, you just need to be above about 67, 68, or something like that. A little bit over 60... We'll just call it 70, just to, like, really be clear of the atmosphere, and you don't really have to worry about much. With Laythe, I think the atmosphere starts somewhere around, like, 55, something like that. So, I didn't know this stuff. I did not even look it up. I'm pretty sure it says it, like, right here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, right there. I could have just looked it up right there, but I'm an idiot, so just give me a break. So I'm just going to try to get the most minimal orbit I can possibly get, and then we're going to start all the fun. But the one thing I'm really concerned about, and I don't want it to happen, is getting somewhere on the dark side as far as landing. Oh, we need to do a retrograde burn. I don't know why I was going to prograde, but... Now, yeah, just basically getting to, basically the dark side. I don't really mind flying a plane on the dark side, because all you have to do is really watch your altitude, but landing on the dark side, I don't really want to do, because I don't know the height of the surface of the planet or anything like that. You know, with the altitude meter, it really doesn't tell you very much, because the altitude that it says you're at, you could be 10 feet off the surface and it will say you're 2,500. It's like the moon. When you go to land on the moon for the first time and it says, oh, you're at 13,000 meters or 13 kilometers, you're really about 11. So it's always kind of like, it's one of those things that if you don't know about it and you go to land, then you're like, oh god, that sucks. But this is looking pretty good. We got a pretty decent orbit here. Now these orbits are always going to be kind of egg-shaped orbits, because when you want to go and leave, you're not using as much fuel to leave and everything else, and it really doesn't, you know, it really doesn't matter so much as far as your orbit is concerned. It's not going to affect anything if you have a low, or one side of your orbit is really high and the other one's really low. The only time it really does kind of get affected is when you're trying to land. But even then, depending on where you're landing, it kind of doesn't matter for certain things. So, it's going to state that now. Let's see. I don't want to just shoot straight at the planet, because that just doesn't sound like a smart idea. So, I think I'm going to put it at about 25 or so, something like that. No, that's looking good. So, you see the amount of fuel, once again, that we're burning. These burns are just very minimal burns. We don't really need to spend a lot of fuel in order to get what we need. So, let's see, how far away from... Oh, wait, yeah, we're pretty far away from our burn here. So, the landing portion, I don't know if I'm low enough in the atmosphere to where I'm really going to get pulled down, and it's really going to pull down the side of the orbit. So, we might end up coming back out and having to do maybe one more orbit to where it will slow us down enough to where we'll be inside the atmosphere. So let's just get this burn done, and we'll see what we can get. So I've been having a lot of fun with this. I think this is just probably one of my best explorations in this game to date. Like, I really haven't done a lot as far as the exploration side of this game is concerned. I just, you know, I've really avoided coming to places like this, and one of the main reasons why I have avoided doing stuff like this is because of the amount of time and effort that you really need to put into things like this, that everything needs to fall in line, everything needs to be perfect. If stuff isn't perfect, if, you know, there's always that little bit of, you know, oh, that's kind of cool. They're like almost right next to each other. There's always that little bit of an unknown with certain things, so because of that, it really does kind of drive me crazy when things don't work the way that they should. So we need to go up, down, someplace, because we need to flip back around and do our burn. If I were to lose this, our mission would be over with. So that's kind of the main reason I've been trying to save this thing and make sure that we don't end up putting this thing into an orbit or, you know, what have you, that basically end up destroying it. So just bring this back up. I'm going to put it about 150, maybe 100, 200. Just for safe, you know, just to make sure it's all safe and make sure everything's safe. Get it away from everything else, and this is looking pretty amazing. So let's just get this thing down. Let's just bring it over here. There we go. So this will be, I mean, technically on camera, this will be my first time actually entering the atmosphere of Laythe. I have actually sent a probe to Laythe once, and that was, I think, about, I think it was like maybe February, maybe March. It was like one of my, not one of my first videos, but it was probably like within my first 30 videos or so. So, well, we're not even lined up with anything. This is not good. Eso no bueno. Alright, bring this down. Come on. Oh my god. This is amazing. It'd be really nice if I actually came in right now and I was right over the top of this big chunk of land here, because I could use, you know, something like this as like a little landing strip. Something against the water, you know, is usually somewhat flat and it's easier to land on, I think. I mean, I am not very good at landing anything, so I almost have a... I'm pretty much thinking I'm going to crash. So that just goes to show how much confidence I actually have in landing. So let's switch this camera view. I don't know why, but it gets all crazy looking like this, and I just don't like it. Where's Jool? Is it behind? Whoa. Oh my god. There we go. Where's Jool? I think it... Yeah, we probably aren't able to see it. We should see a Jool rise. This is going to be amazing. Yeah, we're going to see a Jool rise. Should be coming over the horizon like right about now, actually. Maybe a little bit longer. This is going to be amazing. I can't believe I'm actually doing this, though, because this is one of the things in the game I really just didn't want to do, because of the fact of the complexity of the mission and everything else. Wow, that's so awesome. The complexity of the mission and everything else just really generally gets on my nerves. With I don't like pulling my hair out. I don't have very much hair left, so I want to keep what I have. That is so awesome. I definitely need to send a land base here. Imagine being able to see the Jool rise every morning. Now where are the other moons around here? I don't see any other moons. It looks like we're going back up out of the atmosphere as well. We're probably going to end up having to make another orbit. So I'm going to, once we get out of the atmosphere here, I'm going to just keep going with this, but once we get out of the atmosphere here, I'm just going to speed it all up until we actually get pulled down enough. And it looks like we entered the atmosphere, guys. I really don't have much fuel or I shouldn't say much fuel, but I really don't have any airflow right now, so this is looking freaking awesome. That's all I can say. This would be a really awesome landing strip as well. I think this is like a really flat island. I mean, it looks like there's a little bit of a mountain or something right there, but everything's looking pretty freaking awesome. That's all I can say. We're starting to get some intake air very slowly here. I'm gonna wait until it actually starts to rise before I make any real adjustments to it in any kind of way. Oh my god, this is just amazing. I can't believe we actually made it and everything else, and I did not actually think that everything was gonna just work this well. So let's get these engines fired up. Everything's looks like I got some intake air now, and I can actually use these engines. So I'll put a very minimal thrust right now. That way we can just start pulling up, because we are just heading right at the ground. Actually, I'll full thrust, whatever. I don't know, we're gonna still end up going down, but this is one of those kind of aircraft that if you don't constantly make adjustments as far as pulling up, it will just keep heading straight down. Well, not like straight down, but it kind of just starts putting itself on an incline towards pulling down. So I'm not very good at designing craft. I should mention that right now. That's one of my things that I really just have no fun with doing at all in any kind of way. I know some people will sit around and play around with all of the aircraft pieces and stuff like that. Just, I no fun for me whatsoever. There we go. Alright, we need to start pulling up. Come on. Come on. There we go. I just kind of want to start turning more towards the land, because I plan on landing on this strip of land over here very shortly, so I might as well get somewhat lined up. I'm going to do a little bit of a flyby just to make sure, or at least get close enough to where I can make sure that everything is going to be working. So, well, I shouldn't say working, but making sure that the ground is actually in fact flat, and it's not, the game isn't just like, oh yeah, that's flat land over there, go over there and land on that. And then when I get there, it's just going to be all rocks. Because I might end up having to flip around and coming back here, or maybe finding some kind of alternate landing site. But I mean, right here, this is looking like it's not so bad, so. We made it to Laythe, guys. We got a plane on Laythe. This is amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. Can I get the gear to come down, please? Now, I'm not going to close this docking port until after I quick save, because there's a part of me that thinks that this thing is not going to, in any kind of way, there's a part of me that thinks that this thing, as soon as I go to close it, this whole craft is going to rip itself in half, so. But this thing is awesome. To me, this plane actually kind of looks like a, you know, some kind of like a fighter jet or something like that. It has like a really fighter jet look to it. I really do think it looks amazing. So, alright, there we go. Now, this docking port, you know, all that stuff open, I really don't think it's going to affect much as far as landing. This is so awesome. I'm going to turn a little bit, because this area looks like it's a little bit better. I don't know. I'm going to try to bring it down real slow, though, because I really suck at landing. So, that, from you guys watching my subscriber submissions episode, I should really mention this. It's always going to be an ongoing thing. Somebody asked me if it's okay for them to submit a craft. It's an ongoing thing. You'll always be able to submit craft to it. And if you are having problems finding the link for it, I'm going to start putting it in my description, along with, well, at least at the end of my videos. If you guys look in the top left corner, there is it says submit your craft here. Basically, it will take you to my Google Plus page, and then on my page, under info, it will actually state where you can submit your craft to, my email. So you can go ahead and feel free to do that as you so please. Let's get down a little bit. I'm actually going to turn a little bit. This isn't really looking like what I thought it was going to be, so let's just pull up, be a little bit on the safe side, because we are getting kind of low. I'll give it some thrust too, because this aircraft is just silly when it comes to landing sometimes. Alright, that's looking amazing, actually. So, I took a few tips and I read some stuff online as far as landing, and the only thing that I think I've been doing wrong when it comes down to landing is I've been kind of killing my thrust a lot and then basically just working my way towards the ground, but you can't really just point towards the ground and expect to go there along with your speed being so high, because it's just not going to work out in any kind of way. So what you need to do is just kind of gently glide in. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually know how to fly planes. I mean, it's not that like I actually fly planes myself, but I've done a lot of the flight sim stuff and those kind of games, and it's you know how to do it from there. So you think the same rules would apply? Come on, come up, come up, come up, come up, come up. We need to go up. We need to go up. We need to go up. You think that the same rules would apply when it comes down to any kind of craft that you are flying, but with this game, things are always different, so that's kind of one of the main problems. And especially with the craft you create, it definitely makes a difference. Alright, get that nose up, get the nose up. We need the nose up. Oh god. Oh god. Pull the nose up. This isn't gonna go so well, I don't think. Yeah! Oh, that was awesome. I don't even care. So anyways, guys, that was my sort of trying to land. We did lose one Kerbal. Yeah, I'm sorry, guy. We don't have a plane on Laythe anymore. I was really trying to land it so I could keep a plane on Laythe, but I really suck at landing. I guess that's going to be the new thing on the list of things to learn with this game, is figuring out how to land an aircraft. What is this thing floating around right here? What is that? What is that thing? Is that a wing? It's just like, hey, I'm going to fly around. Yeah, hitting the ground at 100 meters a second, I take it isn't a good thing. But that plane, you know what? With the subscriber submission thing, if you actually create a plane for me that really works out well, I'll consider using it in one of my missions. So that's the one thing I will say, because I want to bring a plane here that I can actually land on Laythe and actually use on Laythe, and if it's somewhat long distance. But the main problem is I need something that's long distance, but it's also not very heavy. And I want to, with a plane, I will be using something as far as some kind of... I honestly don't know. I'll be using some kind of launch system as far as, something separate. If you can create a plane for me that really works, even on Laythe, I will definitely use it. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you like what you see here, subscribe. There's always more to come. To all you new people, welcome. And, yeah, I will see you next time.